What's good, e-biker? So this e-bike is unique for two reasons. I'll tell you why next on the channel. All right, this is the X-Trail. It's a new e-moped style e-bike from a new brand called Bandit. Bandit.bike, I think, is their URL, so check them out online. Very reminiscent here of the Hemingway Escape Pro, only with a slightly smaller battery. This one features a 14.5 amp hour battery in the down tube there, but it does have the kind of same dual suspension on the back there, the same CST 20 by 4 inch tires, and it's a pretty good looking package. The one big difference with this bike versus the Escape Pro is the adjustable seat, which I'll get to. There's a look at those nice front, those mag wheels that come on the e-bike. A new style I haven't seen before. Got some front bosses there on the front end for a bottle holder maybe, or a rack. There's like a side boss too on there as well. Here's a look at that rack back there. It's a nice wooden rack, holds up to 55 pounds according to the specs. And it's rather small. It's probably only like, I don't know, 9 inches long, maybe something like that. I threw a saddlebag underneath the seat, which is pretty big and beefy. There was some space back there, so I decided to fill it up with some cargo capacity. You can see how the seat post adjusts there with that little screw. So very unique, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But that's a really, and you've got that clearance there with the rear wheel, that high clearance. There's the shocks. Shocks are okay. They're a little stiff, but when you sit in the bike, you do feel that shock come down a bit, about an inch or so. Here's a look at that battery. Again, 14.5 amp hour in the down tube. Got some BMX handlebars there. You've got some hydraulic disc brakes, 180 millimeter rotors on there. And there's the tail end again of the e-bike. Here's where the controller is stored. You can actually unscrew that. I did that. It's a 20 amp controller in there. It's pretty snug in there, so I don't think you can fit a bigger one in there from what it looks like. But 20 amp controller on this e-bike. Top speed is 28 miles an hour with pedaling, 20 miles an hour with throttle only. The lighting on this bike is average. There's nothing big on the front there, and the rear light is actually really weak. It's one of my downsides on this lighting package there. It's barely noticeable. Here's a quick side view of the e-bike itself and the frame. It's a nice white frame. Comes in gray, beige, and white. 750 watt rear hub motor back there, and it's on sale right now for $14.49. Normally it's $16.99. So definitely a pretty good deal here. There's those hydraulic brakes. I think they're called they're nuts, N-U-T-T. Here's a look at the front side. Here's me getting on the bike. I'm 6 foot tall, and I have trouble with these e-moped styles because you can't raise the seat. But in this case, it really fits me well. Okay, so in addition to this adjustable seat, which you can just unscrew here and lower and raise with the seat with that, this bike features NFC unlock, and this is something that's really cool. I've never seen before on an e-bike. So here's how it works. So these are your NFC cards, and think of them as keys. So I'm going to turn the bike on. See the screen there, and it says enter a password or use the NFC card. I'm going to take the card. It's got a little bungee here. Push it over the display, and boom, you're in. You're unlocked. You can't ride the bike without unlocking it with the NFC key. Very unique and a nice feature to have for safety, for security on your e-bike. So a very cool feature from Bandit bikes here. I think this is on all their bikes. They have an app coming as well, I'm told. But yeah, pretty cool feature with the NFC cards and this Bandit X-Trail. Alright, so let's get on the X-Trail and see how it does. Need to grab my X-Needle helmet first, put that on. This thing is fast once you put it in sport mode. But there is some ghost pedaling that goes along with that. Let's go do a speed test for you. And we'll check out this X-Trail from a new brand called Bandit. They got a ton of e-bikes. I should be getting more there, so it should be interesting to check them out. Their frames are pretty unique in the industry so far. So, all right, let's put this into eco mode. So we have 6 levels of assist here, guys. On the eco mode now, doing 9 miles an hour. I can't see the display with my glasses on because they're polarized. So let's do PS2. Or there's 2 ecos. That's 12.5 normal. This is level 3. Now we're doing 16. Normal 4. We're doing it's like about 18. Yep. Okay, sport 5. We're doing 20 miles an hour. And I'm going to turn the corner here, put it into level 6, top level. And here we go. 22. GPS verified here. 24. 25. 27. There's 28. Whew. You're spinning your wheel, you're spinning your legs a lot at the higher speeds there. I think it needs a bigger chain ring down there. That was a little bit fast for spinning your legs. But yeah, it goes 28 miles an hour as advertised. Throttle only goes to 20, so just keep that in mind. There's a 20 amp controller in here, so it's not a speed demon, and it really can't be with that smaller battery. So, but it is a fun bike, and I'm enjoying riding it. Let's go do a hill test. All right, here's my hill test. Got 3 levels here: moderate, steeper, and then a really steep one at the end. And I'm gonna start incorporating into my rides. So we're gonna start out with throttle only. I'm in 3rd gear on the mechanicals, and I'm in sport level 6. And we're just chugging along here at 8 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour. It's kind of struggling. That's interesting. 5 miles an hour. It's a moderate hill. I thought the throttle would do a little bit better, but it's only a 20 amp controller. I'm getting much better results with pedaling, even up that moderate hill, which is interesting. So this bike looks more powerful than it is, more faster than it is. Just keep that in mind. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it just is what it is here. Alright, so I'm just kind of lazily turning the wheels at this point, pedals, and it's kind of ghost pedaling in sport level 6 here. Alright, here comes the steeper part of the hill here. This is like a 10% grade, something like that. Now I gotta start pedaling. 13, 12 miles an hour, 11 miles an hour, 750 watt here, 10 miles an hour. I'm putting some effort in, 9 miles an hour. Yeah, so not my best hill climbing for sure, but pretty average if you look at the overall bikes I've reviewed. Alright, let's tackle this 12% grade hill just to see what I can do. Not expecting much here, but we'll give it a shot. And we'll get a running head start here, I think. Alright, start pedaling. 13, 11, 10, 9, 8. 8 miles an hour. There's 7. Alright, we hit 7 for a brief moment there. Alright. And there's your hill climb test on the Bandit X-Trail. It's a kind of a gloomy spring day today, but mid-60s, and I can't complain. All right, let's go do a downhill run, and we'll wrap it up. All right, let's do some downhill coasting, and we'll check out the brakes at the end. They do squeak, particularly at lower speeds. I'm curious to see if they squeak at the higher speeds. There's 30, 32. Oh yeah, the handle's real nice. Feels very stable. All right, we're gonna hit the brakes at this driveway here. And brake. Ooh, screech. All right, there we go. The brakes, these are hydraulic brakes, but yeah, they do squeak pretty much. Have to look into getting some brake cleaner for that and see if that fixes it. All right, so there's the X-Trail. Great looking e-bike, guys. Moped style, not too fast, not slow either. Kind of right in the middle there. So let's talk about my likes and dislikes for this e-bikes. Definitely there's some pros and cons for this thing. We'll start out with the flaws. The dislikes, throttle only goes to 20 miles an hour. I mean, that's kind of a legal thing, but I do wish there was a way to override that. The brakes are squeaky. Hate that. So I got to figure out a way to quiet those. The real tail light works, but it's almost non-existent. It seems like it's not very bright at all, so it's almost useless in my opinion. The smaller battery, of course, you're not going to go too far on this thing. So I did a range test, which I'll publish a short on. But I got 30 miles in real world conditions with hills, using a lot of the throttle, you know, kind of in the number 3 mode for the most part, doing 12 to 14 miles an hour. I got 30 miles. That's decent. Again, 77-pound e-bike, so it's not too heavy. I mean, there are e-bikes in this class tend to be 75 to 90 pounds roughly, but and the ghost pedaling as well is an issue. So that chain ring is too small. It looks like a 40. It definitely needs a 52 or 56 on there to improve that functionality. Likes my like overall design. I mean, you can't. This frame is very unique. I've never seen this frame in the market before. In a world of copycat e-bikes, this one kind of stands out, I think. The tires as well are some mag rims I haven't seen before either. So it's very unique in that aspect. I kind of like how the fender is raised back there, kind of exposing the tire. I suppose the shocks could probably, those are probably pretty cheap shocks. They're stiff. You feel the cushion a bit when you sit on it as well. Kind of feel them go down maybe half an inch. But not the greatest shocks in the world. Front shocks are pretty good. Of course, the adjustable seat. It's the only e-bike, moped e-bike I can ride today. Being 6 foot tall, that's actually comfortable to pedal on. So big props to Bandit for doing that. I saw one other new e-bike that has this design with the adjustable seat post. It's the Anioki, which I'm supposed to get, but we'll see if they send it to me or not. Yeah, this is, to me, I think this is the first one I've seen in the market that has that design. Of course, the NFC unlock, which is really cool, and that display is just really awesome looking. So those are my gives and takes. I think the e-bike is only, I'll check the price. I'll put the price on the video here for you, but I think it's around $1,500, something like that. So it's not too expensive. Would I buy this bike? Yes, I would. If I wanted the e-moped style that I just wanted to kind of tool around my neighborhood, this would be a good choice for that. It's not a long range thing. That controller box is pretty small. I'm not sure if you could fit a bigger one in there if you want to do a DIY, but it is a nice looking e-bike, and you'll definitely get some props from people when you're riding this thing. And anyway, so I'll put a link in the description for the Bandit e-bikes. Stay tuned. I should get some more of their models as well coming, and looking forward to seeing what these guys can do in the e-bike world. So stay tuned.